This is Australia Behind Bars.
This is really jail, like real jail.
This is a world where you're either blue...
Every day's a game of cat and mouse.
Calm down.
Zip it. Or you're green.
Jail is very confronting. You're a man with a number. You can't put a masquerade, you can't put a facade. You are who you are.
I've located a jailmate syringe. Can you comment on that?
From the first day behind bars...
There's nothing I like about jail.
...to the last.
All of these women get out at some point and you want them to come out better than what they came in.
That's some Shawshank Redemption shit right there.
Tonight...
I've located a jailmate syringe. Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know. I'll just grab
the inmates can deny...
Display your feet.
But the new body scanners don't lie.
Could be packaged.
A much-anticipated video call...
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum.
...goes wrong for Brittany.
It's the worst. As the first visit, my youngest son wanted to be in the video and I'm missing it.
And what it's like living in the boneyard.
I was set on by 4 other girls. I am still very broken, but I'm getting there.
Australia's 43,000 jail inmates are there because they broke the rules. Once inside, these rule breakers are faced with more rules. And they're not always keen to follow them.
We do cop a fair bit of abuse as officers. It's something you just get used to.
I don't care what the guards think. I don't care if that's their chosen job or that's their dream job. I don't give a fuck at the end of the day.
Calm down.
They'll spit at us, they'll threaten our families.
I've been punched, kicked, choked.
For me, it's pretty simple. You can't take it to heart and you can't take it home.
The good news is prison environments are changing as more emphasis is placed on inmate training, rehabilitation and rewards for good behaviour.
How you travelling, all right?
Yeah, good.
All right, you can't carry on like that, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I understand.
Communication between officers and inmates is different too.
When I joined the job, if I spoke to an inmate, I was pulled aside quite quickly by the staff and said, you just don't do that. You put the inmate at risk, because if he gets seen by the other inmates talking to you, there'll be consequences.
Back in the day, it was green against blue, like you never spoke to the officers, but now it's more about officers talking to us and we talking to them and sorting stuff out, which is a better way to deal with it.
Hello, how are you? So we're just going to move you to the MPU. Communication's very important because us communicating with the inmates can be the difference between diffusing a situation or elevating a situation.
If an inmate's not getting respect from an officer, he's not going to show respect back. Respect makes the world go round in here.
At the end of the day, if you treat someone like they're a dog, they're going to bite you.
While a grudging respect can develop between officers and inmates, there is still a hierarchy. And in the eyes of many in green, the lowest of the low are those placed in the protection wing, also known as the boneyard.
Who wants to do their jail in protection, you know? Like, it's not a place where you'd want to be. Like, there's got kitty fiddlers, sex pests, like everything in there. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to do my jail in the boneyard.
Senior Officer Dave has worked at Dilwinia for 16 years. He's the man in charge of the High Needs, or Protection Unit.
All right, girls.
These inmates are separated from every other inmate in the jail. They're a mixture of sex offenders, crimes against children. It's not completely filled with that category of inmate. It does have other inmates there that have had issues with other inmates. They've been threatened or have a history, perhaps on the outside, and so we have to keep them isolated in a separate... It's like a jail within a jail.
If the protection inmates aren't housed in this fenced-off wing, they're likely to be assaulted by other inmates for their crimes.
For example, if they have to go to the clinic or if they have to be interviewed by someone, they always have to be escorted by other officers so that no other inmates can mingle with them. Hey! Everything all right? These girls are the ones that live in K, right? They're very settled. They're very settled here.
Best house?
Yes, best house in the jail, I've been told. Any issues, girls? Or dramas in the house?
No, it's all good.
No. All
Never
good?
had dramas. It's still love.
Good, good. I'm happy.
Just don't move anybody else in.
If you have a look, you've got a fence that goes around all of High Needs. I believe it was put here a few years ago to keep the protection inmates away from anyone else.
Protection inmates are limited to 1 hour outside their compound, if they dare.
In that 1 hour that these particular inmates have to have exercise on the compound, a lot of them won't even leave the area. When these particular girls exercise, every other inmate can see them. So to avoid any yelling and screaming from other inmates, calling them particular offensive names, they tend not to even want to be exposed to that. So a lot of them don't even leave the area.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm privy to knowing exactly what they've done, and it can be challenging because when you know what they've done and you've got to try to maintain a professional stance, it can be a bit difficult, especially with certain crimes. I try not to let emotions kick in that much, or else I'll struggle. So I just try to push that knowledge of their crimes to the side and just maintain a professional focus. If I don't do that, it'd make my job extremely difficult. Go on, out you get.
Thank you.
All right, lock it up.
Like many jails across the country, Wellington officers wage a constant battle to uncover inmates with contraband.
We've got intel handed down to us that there's 7 target cells in Charlie Pod, which may contain a number of items of contraband ranging from bupe to jailmate syringes.
The immediate action team may know they have it, but inmates are clever at hiding it, often concealing illegal items in a body cavity.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate.
But the officers now have a new weapon, a full body scanner.
We just scan every single inmate here, just make sure they don't have any contraband on them. Like sometimes they just swallow it, sometimes they put feet in their ass. So just like a proper X-ray machine, you scan all the internal organs, you can see if they secrete anything in their body, like a balloon or a rectangle or a square shape, because you don't have any organs in those shapes in our body.
X-raying is a less intrusive way of checking for contraband than the usual strip searches.
Game changer. It's good, real good.
Yeah.
It's stopped a fair bit so far, I reckon. Yeah, it's good.
Inmates can safely be scanned up to 150 times in a year.
Good, sweet.
This time, all the suspects have come up clean.
Nothing on them guys, but we'll go down and do the cells and might get lucky. So, fingers crossed.
Back to a more traditional search for Officer Aaron and his team.
So there's intel to suggest this inmate possibly has a syringe, possibly has some bupe in here too, so we'll have a poke around, see what we can find. Hey, got something?
They haven't found a syringe, but this slip of paper with names and dollar amounts beside them indicates their target may be a drug dealer. Coming up, the search intensifies.
I've located a jailmate syringe.
And the reluctant protection inmate
I was set on by 4 other girls.
tells what it's like to live in a jail within a jail.
I am still very broken. Sorry. Upsetting.
7 a.m. in the protection unit. Officer Dave's first job is to make sure everyone who should be there is still there.
So every morning we do a muster. They'll be waiting at their doors. Call the muster, get a response, make sure everyone's alive and well. And we're accounting for all our inmates.
It's a job Dave does every day with his heart in his mouth. He only breathes out when all are accounted for.
One of the toughest days I've had on the job was going into that unit to do the musters, and we were missing one. And I opened up that cell and I knew straight away that she was gone. passed away in his sleep.
All deaths are investigated by the police and the coroner. That inmate died of natural causes.
It's just part of the job, I suppose. You know, people pass away, but you just don't expect it.
All inmates in what is officially called the Special Management Area Protection, or SMAP, are accounted for. They can mix freely with each other, but are kept separate from the rest of the prison population for their own protection. Vanessa is here because she was bashed in the main prison some months ago.
After muster one morning, I went to the laundry to put my clothes in the washing machine, and I went back into my room and I was set on by 4 other girls. And due to my injuries and what had taken place that morning, I was placed into SMAP for my own protection. At first, I wasn't happy about it, but at the end of the day, me walking out of here is my priority.
Vanessa is doing time for fraud. She's also done time for passing bad checks, stealing a car, shoplifting, and escaping lawful custody. She's the first to admit she hasn't learnt from her mistakes.
This would be my 5th big sentence that I've done. I've been coming to jail since I was 24. I'm now 48. Not every day smooth sailing in here.
That first jail sentence as a naive 24-year-old was to be Vanessa's undoing.
I came to jail and I'd never touched drugs. I walked out of jail my first sentence and I had a drug problem. I was introduced to heroin and I liked it. It numbed me. I didn't have to think, I didn't have to feel anything. And for 10 to 15 years after that, it was just a roller coaster, in and out of jail, in and out of jail.
Vanessa's been clean of her heroin habit for 12 years, but has somehow found herself back in jail.
The hardest part for me this time around is I had my life together and I had a great support network, I had a great marriage. I've lost everything. Sorry. It's a bit upsetting. Obviously, my husband just couldn't wait or didn't want to wait. He was going through stuff himself and then I was put in jail. So he was left on his own and he met someone else. Everything that was part of my life for the past 11 years with him, I've just had to walk away from. It just broke me.
Vanessa has a lot of repair work to do with her 4 children. The only family member to visit in the last 12 months is her son.
I am still very broken, but I'm getting there. You know, like I'm sorry, it's upsetting. I am getting there. I'm getting better. I don't think of things as much. I'm starting fresh when I get out. I have to put the past behind me.
Back at Wellington, the X-ray results from the new body scanner showed the inmates suspected of dealing in contraband had neither swallowed anything nor placed a drug package between their butt cheeks. But a cell search found a tiny bit of paper that speaks volumes.
Well, I found a couple of bits of paper with names and money amounts that might suggest that the inmate resides in here is dealing. So he either owes or someone owes him. Been in the job about 6 years. I actually wanted to be a police officer when I grew up because I had an uncle that was a police officer and so heard a lot of his stories and saw him coming home with his police dog and thought that's pretty cool. Yeah, prior to coming into the job, I was baker, pastry cook by trade. Did that for about 10 years at a local bakery and then come out here as a baker, working as an overseer in the bakery, and then did that for about 3 years and then transferred over to custodial work.
It no longer surprises Aaron the lengths inmates will go to hide their drugs.
A syringe usually hidden in the in the lining. So if you drag your finger, you run the risk of getting pricked. But if you just pat along, you might find something odd. Yeah. Probably the best way to describe working inside a correctional centre is probably 90% boredom, 10% action. It could be Nothing could happen all day, nothing could happen on weeks on end, and then one day everything's going on. It can go from 0 to 100 very quickly without you knowing about it, and that's that 10% that keeps you busy. It's all part of the game. Like, we're never going to stop it. It's all just an adult version of hide and seek, really. They hide it, we find it, we go again next week. Sometimes they win, sometimes we win. That's the last one.
Last one.
You boys get anything?
That piece of paper with names on it seemed like a good find, but the searchers come up with nothing.
Doing target searches with IoT and then coming out empty-handed, it sucks, for lack of a better word. It is what it is sometimes. Maybe they've just outsmarted us today, but tomorrow we'll get them.
Coming up,
This is a really good find for us. These are pretty serious drugs.
persistence pays off.
We can see an object. Could be a package.
At Dilwinia, inmates under protection spend 23 out of 24 hours a day in their compound.
High needs FM security.
But Officer Dave is trying something a bit different to make life a little more bearable. He's sending his protection inmates off to work.
Master and head check completed. 53, sir.
You have to make sure all the other inmates are locked away. That's the main danger. No other inmates can mingle with them if the other inmates are on the compound.
Before the protection inmates can access the common jail ground, Dave's got to lock up all the inmates from medium and high security.
Then we'll secure that gate, and then the SMAP inmates, they'll be allowed out onto the compound, and they'll be able to use all the exercise equipment, the common room, and just be able to get a little bit more sunshine and exercise the yard. And by not being locked in for 23 hours out of 24, there's less tension. Having 20-odd girls locked in the same house can be a bit tense at times.
It's only been running for a few weeks, but Dave's new initiative is working.
I think this new routine's good. Everyone seems to be getting on a lot better because people aren't living on top of each other, and it makes us, we're just like the rest of the jail. We go out in the morning and go to work. We have jobs. You either go to tech and assembly or you do ground maintenance like me, which I quite like. It's nice to be out in the sun and out of the unit and get some fresh air and, you know, doing something and looking around and seeing that you've made that change.
And there's more change for Vanessa just around the corner.
I have 12 weeks left. It's come up very quickly, actually, and there's a lot running through my mind. I haven't been there for my kids, and it's something I'm ashamed of. So when I get out, obviously I want to spend more time with my children and be there and be a mum. It's a fresh start. It's not going to be easy, I know that, but I'm up for it. It's all I can do.
A few days ago, the immediate action team raided CPOD based on some intel they had. But they came away empty-handed.
If the intel's strong enough and we know something's there, we'll come back every day of the week if we have to.
While the inmates are out of their cells exercising, the immediate action team heads back into the same pod. This time, Officer Stewart is leading the team.
The intel manager's been watching one of the fellas for the last couple of days, so it's the whole reason behind this targeted search today. He is well known for distributing drugs throughout the jail, and it's believed that he could have gotten a drop through visits a couple of weeks ago. So it is a kick in the guts, walking away with nothing.
But then, inside the lining of a jumper.
So I've located what appears to be 3 small orange strips of butte inside of the jacket pocket, wrapped up in a sugar packet. Yeah, so this is a common drug that basically what they do is they either shoot it up with a jailmate syringe or they can smoke it. Looking at those, it's these two here, you're probably looking at around about $50 to $100 a piece. This is a really good find for us. It is a pretty serious drug, so if you shoot too much of it up, you can OD on it, which could result in you dying.
Finally, a win for the immediate action team. And there could be more. The inmate in the next cell is now under suspicion. Officer Stewart wants some answers now.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate. Well, I'm about to caution you, understand. I'm about to ask you certain questions. What I understand is you're not obliged to say anything. Whatever you do say, maybe you understand.
The immediate action team has been targeting CPOT following intel about drugs in jail.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate.
After hitting dead ends for days, it looks like they've finally hit the jackpot.
I've located what appears to be a jailmate syringe. Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it. I'll just grab the pen.
This pen was on your person?
Yep.
For the purpose of the camera, what I've located appears to be a jailmate syringe with a needle cap. I'll now secure the jailmate syringe in a sharps container. Is there anything else you can tell me about this jailmate syringe that was located on your person?
No, I just grabbed the pen to write a number down on the phone just then, before I come in with you.
You understand you'll get charged for this?
Yeah.
He's pulled out a blue pen, and while searching the pen, I've located the top of the syringe poking out. So the syringe was basically hiding inside the pen tube. Yeah, so we'll secure that now, and the inmate will be charged for being in possession of a jailmate syringe. Place your hands behind your back for me.
On the way to the dry cell, Officer Stewart also puts the inmate through the body scanner.
Jump up for us. You can go straight in.
It looks like Officer Stewart's suspicions are about to pay off.
We can see an object, we're just not sure of what the object is at this stage. Could be a package.
So last time that we played you...
You might have won the football match,
We won
but
the footy.
I won the text message competition.
Anyway, we'll see.
We'll see. Monday we'll tell.
I'm Kath. I'm a prison officer. I've been doing this for 35 years. I believe I'm one of the longest serving officers at Dewinia. Where's retirement? It's got to be soon.
We're still undefeated, by the way.
I don't care. I don't care about your team, mate. I only worry about mine. And mine's the one that wears red and green.
Officer Kath knows every square centimetre of this prison, and one guess which rugby league team she follows.
Can't help myself. I'm a tragic South supporter.
She could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles about the Rabbitohs.
I just remind you, Matt, get it right. How many premierships? How many? How many have you got?
2. 2 good ones, too.
What does that shirt over there say? Oh, that's right, 21. I win.
I'm not just an officer. I have got other things happening in my life. And I think, you know, as much as some people don't like my office, I love it, and the inmates actually enjoy it. I supervise all the industries that we've got here in the centre. I enjoy working with the inmates. I have a close interaction with them. Challenges is you can't please everybody.
I'm going to the laundry in the kitchen. They come under my jurisdiction, so it's important that I go and touch base, see how the girls are going. Hi guys, just visiting.
Corrective Services Industries has over 100 commercial business units manned by prisoners. From laundry to textile and furniture making, the inmates are paid up to $70 for a 30-hour week.
How are we going, girls? Any issues? Anything you want to talk about while I'm here? Something you need to get prepared for? Hopefully not This Monday, the following Monday, we'll start washing Emu Plains linen.
Does that mean we'll get paid right?
No, you're on the maximum now. I wouldn't have, I'm telling you up front, I wouldn't have paid you the max now because there's no room for you to grow. But the officers are nicer than me that they've given it to you from the start. So when you get busier, I've got no leeway now. So it's unfortunate, but you're on the max. This laundry was purposely built. It's going to cover all the women's facilities. So we'll be washing for Dawinia, which is what we do now. It will be doing Emu Plains and it'll be doing Silverwater Women's. On average, we'll be doing probably 1,500 to 2,000 kilos per week. That's 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. So we're also going to try and introduce laundry operations as a training course for the girls so they can get that skill base that'll help them gain employment, you know, upon release if they're interested in going down the laundry field.
When I see an inmate come back, sometimes I feel a little bit deflated. But at the end of the day, from an industry's perspective and my role, I've got to give these girls the skills as much as we can to try and get out. We can do traineeships while they're here, we can do short education courses. We provide that opportunity for them. So, you know, it's one of those things that they come back, but I want to give them those skills. I want to give them that employment.
Because they're doing a good job. So just keep working hard. But sorry, no pay rises this week.
Whilst conducting a regulation strip search, you removed a blue pen and a piece of paper from your pocket. Is that correct?
Yes.
Back in Wellington, Officer Stewart has found a jail-made syringe on an inmate.
Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it.
The inmate was body scanned.
Take a wide stance, step on the conveyor belt.
And Officer Stewart's hunch is right.
Could be a package. Could be. What we're doing is we're identifying features of the body and we're just looking for anomalies. So, for instance, his watch, your bones sort of show up green and so does your watch as well. We can see an object, we're just not sure of what the object is at this stage.
It's only been a few minutes since the first body scan, but Officer Stewart is bringing the inmate back for the second.
So I'm going to put him back through the scanner, but I'll face him the other way, and then it'll clear things up for us. Same deal. Wide stance, lay your feet. Because we've got a syringe off this inmate, it could be another syringe that he's secreted. I reckon he's got another one. Yeah. I reckon he's pushed it right up. So basically this is the anomaly that we've located. So I'm going to say that he does have contraband secreted up his buttocks. The item in the first scan seems to be lower. So this is a first scan, this is a second scan. He has pushed it up higher. So if you have a look on the first original scan, it's down low. The second scan, he's actually pushed it up higher.
The inmate will remain in a dry cell until he agrees to hand the item over.
The wing that we've been targeting over the last few weeks is very well known to have jail-made syringes and weapons. It is one of our problem wings, and it's good to get in there and actually get the stuff out. So, yeah, this is a massive win.
My favourite afternoon of the week, we're going to issue buy-ups. We'll have the whole centre up here. It'll take us roughly an hour and a half to distribute it.
10 now, please. Come on, Cherub, let's go.
Buy-ups. It's the closest thing the inmates will get to a supermarket inside jail. They can spend up to $100, about a week and a half's wage, on snacks, pre-packaged meals, personal goods, even a TV.
Without buy-ups, they'll go insane because they live for this week to week.
Where you living? I get about $50 a week working in buy-ups, but my mum and my sisters and all that, they put money in as well. So most of it goes on food, but the rest of it goes on phone credit.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone looks forward to Thursday. It's the one thing, other than visits, that the girls look forward to a week.
But if the inmates aren't following the rules, there'll be no buy-ups today.
No, unfortunately, it's got to be an ID card or not at all. That's the rules. We'll be here till 3:45, give or take. You've got plenty of time to get back.
No ID, no buy-ups, no filling the order form incorrectly, same result.
You didn't fill your form in right. Oh, really? Yep, unfortunately, that's how it goes. No, mate, the system's done. We scan once a week and once a week only, so I can't change that.
Megan, you're next.
Sorry. They don't fill it in, they don't get a bite, which is unfortunate, but I can't change the system.
Stop. Okay. Sorry.
So they get a bit upset, but they get over it. Bottom line is they can spend more next week. Love your work.
Thank you.
Thank you for shopping at Delwinia Mart.
Next door, Nurse Miriam and her Justice Health team are getting ready for the pill parade.
Thank you.
Each morning we could see anything from 80 to 110 patients who come for their issued medications that have been prescribed.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Inmates are never given a full packet of medication. They only get their daily dose at the same time each day.
A lot of these patients have multi-complex trauma from their childhood, and a lot of them before coming into custody don't access good quality health care. So a lot of their issues are actually diagnosed in custody.
One such inmate who has just had her diagnosis changed is Brittany.
I've got 4 children. I had my firstborn when I was 14 years old.
I'm missing it all. I never thought I'd end up in here.
She's serving 3 years and 9 months for getting caught up in a kidnapping. Her time here in therapy has brought her to the realisation that attitude might not be the only source of her problems.
I've been in here for 4 months now, and in the last few weeks they've just re-diagnosed me with ADHD, and I'm only just being put on new medication now, so I'm still not on the full dose that I will be.
So, going to have a chat because the doctor changed your medication recently, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
So I feel better, you know.
Brittany came into custody really quite unwell, and she actually came in and was diagnosed with ADHD, which she didn't know she had. And I think for Brittany it was a light bulb moment, because all those ADD symptoms that frustrated her, the moment she got that diagnosis and she was told that's okay, that's what ADD is, resonated with her, and she just lit up. From what I've seen from you doctors in the community, you haven't had that diagnosis before.
I do relate to that diagnosis a lot more than, say, the bipolar.
Yeah. She's now medicated, she's focused, she's enrolled in IDAPT, which is really quite intensive. She's had no outbursts, her eyes are bright, she's picking up her medications every day. She can identify when she's feeling a little bit off, and she can identify when the medication is doing the right things for her.
Yeah.
Have you gone up to psychology and had a chat to them?
Yeah, I was with them yesterday.
Yeah, nice. All right. I can't remember when the doctor wanted to review you again. He might have said 2 weeks, he might have said 2 months. I can have a look and I can let you know.
Yeah.
And then you and I can feed that back to him. How does that sound?
Yeah, right.
Yeah? And that's what we love. That's what we love, watching that evolution from someone who sometimes at the first couple of days they're a little bit hazy coming to custody because they're so unwell, to now seeing, oh my God, look at this, I'm enrolled in a program and I'm medicated and I feel good, and I know when I'm good and I know when I'm off, and I can identify that.
While Brittany is a long way off from being released, if she can get her mental health right, it will make her time behind bars easier.
When I first came in, I didn't know which way was right and, what was up or what was down. I was a mess. Yeah, and it wasn't just the confronting side of coming to jail that did it. It was the fact I was unmedicated. I wasn't right in the head. Yeah, I'm good now, I hope.
Even in jail, you can't charge someone with suspicion. But after weeks of persistent searching, corrections officers have found hard evidence of drugs in C-Pod.
Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it.
A forensic body scan revealed more contraband stashed internally.
I reckon he's got another one.
Yeah.
But the officers cannot forcibly remove it. They have to wait until the item passes in a dry cell toilet that has no running water, or until the inmate confesses.
So the inmate, when he was being fed earlier, he admitted to an officer that he did have an item and he was willing to hand it over. So we're back here now to see what that item is. I'm expecting to find another syringe. It could be drugs. It's hard to tell with the body scan, so we're just got to wait and see. You willing to give it up?
That's all it is.
What is it? Jamie. What's this for?
Just water. It's just what I use for my fit.
A fit is slang for a syringe.
Why wouldn't you just hand this over?
I don't know. I put in my arse, so I'm not going to sit there and pull something out of my arse.
So the inmate's handed over what appears to be a motor, and he's just stated that he uses the wires for his syringes. Have you got anything else on you wish to declare? Because we're going to do another strip search. And we're going to...
The inmate broke the rules. Officer Stewart checks with the Intel manager to see what punishment the governor is likely to impose.
So I've spoken to the Intel manager. He has handed over an item. So he'll receive 56 days for the jailmate syringe, 56 days for the motor, so 112 days all up off all amenities, so televisions, buy-ups, activities, arts, hobbies, and off-contact visits.
The inmate who had hidden bupe, a heroin substitute, has also lost his privileges, as well as a lot of income from selling to other inmates.
We did get a win today. We got a syringe out of the jail, which is a big plus for us. It's a big positive. So yeah, we'll keep working on the intel and keep targeting.
I'm off to my AVL visit with my younger 3 children today.
AVL stands for Audio Visual Link. Inmates can now have family visits more often on screen.
It's been a few weeks. They couldn't get in last time. It was booked out. Pretty excited.
You can head straight on through.
Thank you.
It's benefiting everyone involved.
I think technologies where they can communicate more with their families, so video visits, tablets, things like that, I think they help, because if you're connected to people, you're less likely to come back.
So we're having some issues with the Wi-Fi today. They're upgrading some mobile phone towers near the jail. So unfortunately there's been some unhappy inmates.
Hopefully Brittany is not one of them.
Hello.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum.
Hi.
Can you see us now?
What happened? Oh wait, we're connecting again. Isn't it shitty signal today? Yeah, just disconnected now. It's saying it's connecting again. Hi.
My shit.
Oh, you're actually in the video today. Put the computer screen down a little bit so I can see you better.
Technology not cooperating is going to get under anyone's skin.
Oh, there we go. They're back. Hi. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is a bit crappy in here today.
In the past, Brittany would have lost it, but she's keeping her cool.
I think I've heard about 5 whole words from them so far. Just freezes on their face. You hear a couple of words and then it cuts out and you just got to wait for them to answer it again. It's the worst. And it's the first visit my younger son's actually been in the video and wanted to be in the video, and I'm missing it. Missing the whole thing.
Hi, Mom.
Don't have the heart to hang up.
Miss you. Mom. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss you.
Love you too, Mom.
I think it finished.
Not a great AVL visit with her kids, but a good outcome for how Brittany dealt with one of life's ups and downs.
she's real uneasy.
A jittery arrival to a max security wing.
She obviously fears for her safety. Maybe someone slipped her a note or something like that.
Using a metal detector to find a mobile phone.
The biggest eye-opener that I have learnt from this job is what they can put in there and what comes out.
How female inmates hide contraband.
Coffee mugs, fake nails and glue.
And
inmates are portrayed as this evil sort of characters. It's not true.
Wisdom gained from doing time.
You see a person for who they are. There's no fancy cars, there's no fancy homes. It's just you and the person in front of you.